Coach, Broncos are coming off a tough loss at Michigan State, and not something you always see, but a Week 2 MAC West conference game this weekend, a big one for the Broncos.
Yeah, wrapping up last week, I thought, coming back watching the film, a lot of stuff we need to do better. Starting with taking care of the ball, turning it over twice in your red zone. You're not going to win games against good teams that way. And so it's been good for our guys. They've responded well and put a big emphasis on making sure that we do a better job of taking care of the ball. There were some bright spots. A couple guys I thought played pretty well in a great environment to play a football game. But we turned the page quick. I mean, this is a big week, and we're playing a divisional opponent on the road, and so big challenge for us. Week 2 is also tough depending on how much you got out of game 1. Tennessee's offense is vastly different. They're spread out. It's fast paced, and so I don't know how much we're going to get out of the first game. But hopefully our defense can get a little bit out of game 1, and we just got to be ready for anything they put in the off season. Not necessarily showed in the first week with the way Tennessee plays, and so there'll be some unknowns out there. But we've had a good week of practice, and I know our guys are excited to get to Muncie.
You mentioned turnovers in the Michigan State game, and turnovers were the issue last year against Ball State. Big emphasis going on to that this week. If you talk with Jack about, whether or not to get rid of the ball earlier instead of taking the sacks or the one he ended up with the fumble.
Yeah, the one got him when he stepped up, and number 4 did a good job, and he hit it pretty hard. He's got to take care of the ball, at all times, and he did a pretty good job with the ball in his hands. Young guys have a tendency to take too many sacks in their first couple games. I've had a lot of freshman quarterbacks. It's the one thing I haven't been able to get fixed. But I think 3 of them were truly on him. We got to be better up front too, and so he needs to know where to go with the ball, get rid of it quicker, and keep 2 hands on it when he's moving around the pocket. Now, he made some plays on third down where he moved in the pocket and made some big throws, which were he did some hard things well in his first game, which is a good thing. But watching last year's game, I mean, you can't hide the fact that I think at that point we were number 1 in the country. Had not turned the ball over, and we turned it over 4 times in one game. We threw it to him, we fumbled it. By far Caleb's worst game. Struggling, and so we've watched that game. We've watched the 20 game, the 19 game. So gone back, but that was the story of the game last year, and we've definitely been hitting that along with. You get what you emphasize, and we really emphasized. We always have emphasized it, but we've doubled down on it a little bit, put some new drills in. On the flip side, our defense got 2 turnovers, which has been one of our focuses. They had a chance at a couple more. One got negated because of a penalty, but I think they did a great job. We need to keep that going as well.
Blake Boseman goes from being a walk-on to a scholarship player to catching 5 passes in his first career games. How was he able to find those pockets there in the Michigan State defense?
Well, Coach Thorne did a good job of knowing the coverages we were getting, and how Blake could find holes. Now, Blake, since the moment he's got here, has been able to catch the ball. He's got a knack for it. He's got a knack for getting open. He's totally changed his body since he's got here. He came in, he was like 185 pounds. I think he's about just under 230 now. Had off-season shoulder surgery, which really slowed up his growth. And he's going to be a 240, 245-pound guy that can run and catch. And him and Jack have a good relationship. And there's nothing better than a tight end. Knowing where he's at, the pocket gets broken down, know where he's at all times and get him the ball. And that's what Coach Moreland was for me when I played. So it's great to see them start off on the right foot. And, they're both young players, and they played well in game 1, but we're going to need a lot more of that.
Marshawn Elam not on the depth chart this week. Can you give us an update on his status?
Yeah, he got rolled up on during training camp, and he was coming back from it. It's nothing too serious. We're just trying to let it calm down. That's the biggest thing, because we need Marshawn to be healthy. He tried to play in the game. He went in there, and it's a lower leg. It's nothing too serious, but we want to give it time to get Marshawn to be back. Because when Marshawn is healthy, you have a great player, and he's trying to come back, and he got in the game for a couple plays, and he's just not ready. We need to shut him down for 2 weeks, get the thing healthy, let it heal all the way, and then let him loose. Because when you let him loose, man, he can go. He tried to go, tried to gut it out. Some things you can gut out, some things you can't, and he just didn't have a lot of power and pushing off. It's stable and everything. We just need to get to where he feels comfortable pushing off it again. So I'm guessing it'll be a week or two, and then he'll be back.
Tyson Lee fills in his spot, redshirt freshman. Do you anticipate him getting the majority of the snaps or kind of splitting them in like a platoon situation?
Yeah, he did a good job last week. He got cut on that long run. A young buck got cut on one play, and they got through clean. But other than that, I thought he played pretty well. Obviously, we've been moving Fisk outside to play out there, so you got Fisk and Andre. Tyson can rotate through there. Corey Walker can rotate through there. You'll see him this week. So I really like our young. We have 4 redshirt freshman defensive linemen that are all they're super tight. They're close, and they work their tails off. And they're all kind of twos right now. You're going to see them this year. They're going to get sparing reps, and I think they're going to get better and better. It's going to be a great group. They're behind some really, really good players right now, but you're going to see Josh Nobles and Elijah Hawk and Tyson Lee and Corey Walker. Those are the guys that have that are ready, for when we get banged up and we need more bodies.
3 offensive linemen, it appears, are no longer on the roster. I think that might have happened just before the season or sometime during fall camp. And Stuart Kettler, Jack Taylor, and Hunter Schulfer. Can you give us an update on their status if they transferred?
What's the third one?
Hunter Schulfer, I believe.
Yes. So all different situations. Give me the first name.
Kettler, Stuart.
Kettler, he's no longer playing. Just decided to focus on academics. And then Hunter it was an academic issue, and then Jack is a medical. He's still around. He's helping. He's coaching now, but he medically could no longer go. The medical staff had decided football's not for him anymore, and he still wanted to be around the program. So he's kind of the Coach Kenny's assistant coach now.
And then Damari Roberson, a guy who's battled some injuries, made it back on the field last week. What was it like to see him be able to finally go out there and fly around, I think for the first time since he was like a junior in high school?
It's been a long time. I'm getting goosebumps as you start talking about him. That kid's been through a ton, right? Got hurt at 2 ACLs in high school. Everyone bailed on him. We stuck with him, and he came in as a wideout, had another one, went to defense. Got healthy again. He actually had a scare in the spring that it turned out to be nothing. The move to Sam linebacker was a huge move for him. He's just comfortable there. He looks good. He's worked his way into the rotation. He's on to special teams now, and to see him finally get a chance after years and years of being, he's always been hurt. That's why he couldn't play. And most guys, one injury is hard. And two mental health wise, two's. You just keep getting punched and he keeps getting up, and I know he's thankful for all the support of our medical staff and the team, and to see him where he's at right now is exciting to watch him out there play. And he's at a position where, Zaire's a senior and he's behind him. So he's definitely getting in the rotation, and the future is bright because once Zaire goes, he'll be sitting in a great position to be a guy.
Yeah, you open with the top 15 team in Michigan State, and the guys all have to get excited for that kind of game. But do you have to kind of coach them up and realize that this game is bigger than that game because it's a league game and they have to wrap their heads around that? Is that something you guys have been working through this week?
Yeah, I hit that in camp, and I hit it immediately after the game. I had it on my little post-game card. Whether we won or lost, it was a bullet point of Michigan State was going to be a 4-hour game, win or lose. It was going to be a great learning experience, great for us to figure out what we need to get better at. But the biggest game we have is this week. And so we hit that, 20 minutes after the game and all week long. And so it's exciting to play a MAC game in week 2. It's not something you're used to doing, but it cranks it up a little bit. And we know the opponent well. We've played them every year. They got some new pieces that you're trying to get to know, but we're still trying to get to know our new pieces as well. So it's there's a little bit more unknown than normal, but we're excited because it's a big one, no doubt.
And your young quarterback got thrown into the fire right away against, like I said, a top 25 team, and then he gets another huge challenge in a league game. What kind of progress you want to see from week 1 to week 2 in a young quarterback in this situation?
Well, I want to see him, not make the same mistakes twice, right? And I talk to him every time he comes off the field. And I thought he did a good job of making some big third down plays. I thought on third down, that's one of the harder things to do. I thought he handled himself very well. Couple standard rookie moves, not looking at the play clock. I helped him on one. I didn't help him on the other, unfortunately. And then he missed a couple reads. And it was really his footwork. You'll see, if you ever want to see a grading chart of the comfort level of a quarterback, just watch his feet. His feet got happy a little bit. He was able to settle them back down and start throwing strikes. But the couple he missed, his feet just weren't set. We got to get him set and relaxed. And he's been working on it this week. And it's fun when a guy gets in that situation and handles himself well, and then you can show him why he missed that throw. And then he plants his foot in practice and delivers a strike, and it's like they build confidence and that we're going to help him get better, because he's harder on himself than anybody. So it's did he play? He played okay for his first game. I mean, dropping the ball, there's no excuse for that, and we got to be better. But he also did some really good things. I think people saw that, and I'm excited. He's got a lot to get better at, and I'm excited to help him get that learning curve as steep as humanly possible.
Division I college football is going to have a 12-team playoff here in the near future, seemingly opening up an avenue for a MAC team to compete for a national championship in earnest. What are your thoughts on that move?
Yeah, it came out, was it right before the game or the day before the game, something like that? It's exciting for college football, more people, more college football. That's one thing that obviously it's the opportunity to see other fan bases and other schools get into an opportunity to make a run for a championship is going to be exciting for all the teams that get in. So I think it's I don't know how the logistics behind it. There's some ADs and presidents that are going to figure out all that stuff, but I think it's great for the game. I think it's going to make for one heck of a November. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that are on the bubble in November. Games that might not have mattered are gonna, and it'll make November exciting, and obviously December and January even more exciting. So I'm happy for the game of football.